Alrighty, hello everybody. We are back with some more Clash gameplay. I have not changed my deck since the last time. I determined in the last premiere that I I I think the deck that I have is basically as good as it can be. I've thought about a couple changes. I've thought about completely dropping the Torchins and swapping them out for something more useful than a 1/1 and just playing without Hephstia if I don't get it, because Torchin, if you don't it really just eats Gorgons or P-Box most of the time, and then it's a dead card and I wasted a turn, and that feels pretty bad. But at the same time, my opponent is using a Gorgons and I get a defensive body for a turn, so it's not, it doesn't feel good against the explosive decks, but against the ones that are a little less explosive, it's actually pretty nice. So I decided to keep that in. I also saw, like, I've seen some people iterating on this list nowadays. So one of the things I thought about was, or I saw that I kind of liked, was somebody actually took out PTA, which I was a little surprised about, because, you know, PTA is one of the counter runes, one of the things the deck's in a little bit of a shortage with. But what I realized is that if I'm trading back and forth in battles, I am probably going to have more battle power than my opponents, and I'm not going to need to take them out with a PTA. The only things I really use PTA for, thinking back on it, is like Ant-Titan. Ant-Titan decks can get out of hand really quick. And basically anything that can turbo into a 3-drop. So it's kind of like a Pantera. What else even? Like if I ever face a Majesty. It's good. It was good against Caprigal in the last premiere. So even if I did take it out, I don't think I would fully swap it out. I'd probably just leave it in the side. Yeah, I guess I forgot about Caprigal until just now. Just kind of the thing I struggle with. But otherwise, I mean, what they swapped out was for Argo. And so having a couple Argo targets like helps increase my trades in battle, which I've got the torches already, and it synergizes really well with Volcarius Champ. And if I decide to run one necklace or something, which I've considered doing before, because then if I have Hephaestus, I can give anything a +5 attack boost, which sometimes sucks, but when it works out, it's a +5 attack. It sucks because it costs like 4 to do. 2 if I have a Volcarius Champ out. But if I am facing down like a Lockagon, Frostfall Lockagon, sometimes it's really important to be able to take the thing down. And I just don't have the power to do so, because it really requires either suppression or being able to hit over like a 13 or something, which just is ridiculous. Which, I mean, sometimes I can do with baseful carries, which is kind of fun. That's another thing I've considered swapping, because I like baseful carries. A lot of people think that's where I really cooked with this deck, because there's so many fire spirits on board. But the fact that it dies to any form of suppression pretty much hurts. There's not a whole lot of lunar decks around, and from the lunar decks I face, I probably go about 50-50 with them. It's not a horrible matchup, but it's not a great one by any means. But I mean, Gorgons is everywhere. I think Dense Fog is seeing less play now. A lot of the people, there was a discussion on it yesterday in the comp chat, that people were saying how Dense Fog really doesn't get as much value as everyone would hope it would. It's hard to find the right time to use it, and most of the times when you have it, it's like you'd rather have something else instead, which I completely get. And when I tried using Dense Fog, I was also a little bit disappointed. It just felt like such an awkward card, because you can't use it on the on-cast stuff. Can't use it to stop attacks. And since Lunar's kind of fallen off, you're really only using it against Lockagon. So it's kind of like a side deck option against Lockagon, but at that point just use Spoiled Fruit. So yeah, in general, I think it's kind of fallen off of use, so Volcarius isn't as scared that way. But yeah, I was considering trying out like base Warmite, since it's effectively a 7. Being able to just have a 1 card that can immediately get over or crash with an eye woolly is pretty nice, you know. But it struggles to get over anything in defense, and it doesn't have the receive effect, so it's not a battle trick option. It's just a 1-for-1 trade. So at that point, I'd basically be better off running Galaxy, because Galaxy can get over more things. And I've already got the waters anyways, but every time I try and run something that isn't fire element in this deck, I never seem to find, and I never seem to want it in hand. I'll get Hephstia, and then when I'm wanting guys, I'll draw like 2 waters, because for a while I tried Small Tuga Champ, and it was like, oh yeah, I've got so many ways to get torches, so you'd think that torch would be it would be an easy way to get into Krakatuga Champ, which when it worked, and it was really nice, and Krakatuga Champ could just sometimes win me games on its own, basically. But anytime I just had a Small Tuga and Hephstia, it was just dead. And maybe I draw the Small Tuga and the Krakatuga, but I don't draw any artifacts, so I can't ascend it. Well, I would have to have the Small Tuga Champ survive a turn, and then hard ascend into the Krakatuga, which is not easy to pull off, especially in the mid to late game. And since I'm always going second, it's not hard for people to stop it either. It could be something where it's like you could maybe bait out a Gorgons, but most of the time, but you don't start the Ascension until you reveal the artifact. So as long as people know the timing, they won't Gorgons you until the effect happens. So yeah, those are kind of my recent thoughts on the deck. Ultra Star still feels good. I would not take it to 3 though. Other counter rune options. Okay, it's a bad time to queue, I guess. I would have thought Saturdays would be decent. It's not even like that early in the morning. And the little tournament today doesn't start for another hour and a half. Let me see if I can, yeah, screen share. Let's go out to build Elestrals and kind of look at stuff for fun. Yeah, so for fire Elestrals, 1 cost fire Elestrals, because I don't really need Ascensions right now. Ash Rabbit, some people were talking about, oh, it works out with the receive, but I don't really need to return anything from the Underworld. And also, the receive really only specifically works with Hepstia's Hearth, but I don't want to be using Hepstia's Hearth on anything that's not Hephstia or a champion of Hephstia, because it will get less value. Thanks to, because Hepstia's Hearth gives 2 spirits for anything that's, for any champion of Hephstia or Hephstia herself. Bellaby, I really love this card. I've even got a stellar one right here, which I bought. Because this was before I started running fire. I just thought the thing was so cute, and the card is so cool. I love the design of this card. Being able to just target any fire, wind, chanted Celestial, and make it unaffected by counter runes is just so good. I was trying to run it really early on in my water deck with Starbits, because I would essentially load all the water spirits on it, get the Ascension, and then on the Ascension use a fire. So then I would be able to play Bellaby to make it immune to counter runes, so I wouldn't have to be afraid of shield. Now, given that was at like when I first started playing like 5-6 months ago, and I had no clue what was going on, but I thought it was a cute little strat. And it's like this guy, he gives me a 1 attack boost, kind of like Funglo does. It comes in handy surprisingly often. But the problem with this deck, surprisingly, isn't counter runes. And if it, like, I do struggle sometimes against counter runes, but most of the time, like if somebody's going to Gorgons one of my guys a turn, they can do that and chain it to the Bellowby effect. And then it does not matter. So basically, the unaffected by counter runes really only comes into play for avoiding the destruction effect of a PTA, avoiding shield or Argo. Actually, no, it won't even do anything against Argo or Hepstia's Hearth or some of those battle trick ones. So it's basically just against PTA and shield. And if I wanted to play some cards that were good against PTA and shield, I would run Krakatuga Champ again. Mfrix, this is really just Ascension fodder, same as the Champ of Hephstia. I thought about it just because you can grab a 1-Spirit Fire Elestral from your Underworld, which is kind of cool. But you can't get the entire second half of its effect unless you Ascend. And I don't want to be disenchanting for my Hephstia, long story short. If I wanted to run something that was giving me stuff back from the Underworld, I would just run Ash Rabbit because it's got a better stat line and doesn't require me to disenchant anything. Exalt Flare. I was surprised to see Brulok running this. He was really leaning into the Leonite with his deck that he got 8th place in the Premier. Like, Leonite's good, but it doesn't win me a lot of games. Being immune to rune destruction is nice, but like, you get your stats swapped, or you get Gorgons into a Earthquake or something, or even just a shield or Spinosact will just ruin Leonite's day. I'm trying to think of what else to do. I run into a lot of issues where Leonite really doesn't get as much use as I would hope out of it. And so even when I have a Kinleo, I don't always just ascend into Leonite because it just doesn't win me games. So I'm surprised to see that he really leaned into it. But I guess if you have like 4 spirits on a Leonite and your opponent doesn't have something to deal with it immediately, it's going to be rough. I don't like Exalt Flare for the same reason I don't like base set Kinleo. You're going to have to Nexus off of something that you don't want to have to Nexus off of. Like, you don't want to have to use spirits off of Hephstia because you're already kind of on a shortage of those. If you've got 2 Hepstias, then sure, that's a different story. But drawing 2 of your 3 cards is kind of rough. You don't really want to Nexus off Torch, don't want to Nexus off Forge. You can Nexus off of Festus, which is fine. If you've got the Torch and that survives the turn, you can Nexus off of it. And I mean, this is all changes when we're talking in terms of like Ultra Stars. Ultra Stars like wins a battle, deals damage. Exalt Flare can just get Nexus, or can just get Gorgons, and then all of a sudden it's useless. But with all these fires, I mean, you're pretty much always going to have an Ascension target. But I've only got 3 Ascensions in my version of the deck. Actually, how many did Brulok have? I feel like we had pretty similar ratios across the board. Yeah, he's the same. Just got the Lavalith and 2 Leonites with the 2 Exalt Flares. So, I don't know. Seemed to work for him, though. He plays higher than me, but I think we both got 5-2. He just had a better tiebreakers. This website doesn't say, but yeah. Still cool to see people innovating on the deck. Fun guides. I thought about these guys briefly, like especially this one being a 2-5 and a Searcher. But they just need their own specific strategy. You can't just splash them in. Hellmelt's cute. I love the card and I want to get a Stellar of it, but that's about it. It requires its own strategy too. Same with Humbusts. Ignectors. I think base Ignector is good Ascension fodder. I was trying to figure out if I had like a... I guess not. Because like I'm looking at stuff, but I really want to actually be playing Clash if I can. Because you can do Ignector, special cast up to 2, as you can have 3 guys on field, so you can almost always have something to ascend over the next turn. But it's, I guess, just being able to ascend over stuff isn't really worth it, which is fair. You can get so many special casts now that it's not. But yeah, and then it's just too expensive to use Nog. At least in my opinion, I don't even know where you'd slot out stuff for Nog. Once again, I know Brulok had he had 3 Nogs and then 3 rabbits as well to grab stuff and 2 small Tugas. And his 1-drops, he just completely cut all of the Volcaries and all the Necruffs. And he even only had 1 torch. So his was very search heavy, combo heavy, compared to mine, which is aiming more for consistency and always having pressure in battle. Okay, I'm gonna ping Clash Challenger because this is ridiculous, and I should have done that earlier. Kinleo base, yeah, it's just being able to destroy is nice, but having to Nexus off something to do so is not as nice. I think it's better in the fire artifact type decks where you have like multiple Hephstis, 3 Volcaries, and extra artifacts and stuff. But in this case, it's not as good. Comagma, another receive effect. You can draw a card, discard a card. It isn't something I would ever want to re-trigger, is the thing. You're not gaining a card. With Hellmelt's discard, you're able to effectively gain a card because the one you discard ends up special casting it, and so it's useful. But with Comagma alone, I would have to discard I can discard a Volcaries in order to draw my next card, which might be a Hephstia, it might be nothing good. Might be a Kinleo champ or something. It's like I could choose between them afterwards, but it's still just like, why am I playing a guy to essentially get rid of something that's useful? Because pretty much every card in this deck is useful in some way or another. Alright, there's our match. I go second. That looks decent. I've only got 1 guy, but I've got Hephstia, Leonite. I could even expend to draw turn 1. Oh, that is disgusting. I hate turn 1 amp up. So I'm not running shield, and I can't, like, I've got PTA, but I can't use it because he just gets to start. So now he's got a, like, 15 attack body. I've got Altar Stars, but, like, Leonite can't hit over this. Yeah, it costs him a lot of spirits, but still, it's just... Oh, it's Champion of Zeus. Oh, that changes things. Give -2 and has 0 attack, you must destroy it. Zeus enchanted, cannot be targeted by divine or effects. We got 2 back row. I'm not sure why he got rid of the extra amp up then, because he could have just done the combo with 1 if he was going into champ like a Volt. Unless he like misclicked and's got both in the deck. I suppose this card's pretty good against like the Lakagon deck, because it just destroys Drataguas and Foamies by existing. Playing Kinleo to heal is kind of weird here, because I'll only heal 2 instead of 3. Maybe he'll just Gorgons it. I wouldn't even completely mind that. Because like I said, I've already got the Leonite in hand. Yeah, that works for me. Alright, we play Necruff now. Now it's kind of up to, does he have Thunderstorm? Because if he pops one in my back row and he gets the right one, it's going to be tough. Ooh, another back row to replace. That's rough. Yeah, see? He got Thunderstorm and picks the altar. So that's exactly what I needed him not to do. Because if he picked PTA, it's very whatever, and I still probably beat him. So he'll... Yeah, I think he just beats me here. I needed him to not have Thunderstorm, to not pick the right one, to... like, literally anything. Because I can't... like, even if I PTA this amp up here, he just lowers the attack with Lycavolt of one of my guys, and then... Oh, seriously? He had all the amp ups in hand? Did he draw into an extra one? I thought that wasn't possible. He must have drawn into 2. Oh, great. I didn't think this could get any worse. Now all of a sudden I lose my Leonite. So his starting hand was 2 amp ups, a Gorgons, and a Thunderstorm? That's just insane. So I'll take 2 damage here. I'll destroy him. He'll take my Leonite, which sucks. And then I basically have to just hope that my next card is going to be another Kinleo champ and that these back row are dead. That's basically all I got to hope for. Yeah. Yeah, what do we got? Kinleo champ, Kinleo champ. I hate expending the draw here, but I don't have a whole lot of options. Oh yeah, he played amp up, so I can't even set the Hephstia. Ugh. He drew another back row. He can just re-enchant, yeah. Oh, he just expends the draw. It's fine too. Come on, Kinleo champ. I guess technically Volcarius would work too. Torching. He can destroy me with his effects. There's no point in even playing the Torchin. I'm just gonna pass. Because I can't expend a draw. I can't afford the spirits. He's got 4 back row. He's not drawing like any guys. If I was able to keep my Leonite, I think I would have been fine. But the... I guess I wouldn't have been fine because I didn't draw a guy until the Torchin. P-Box. Alright, you got it, dude. Yeah, that one was just getting high rolled. I couldn't do anything there. If he didn't have amp up, double amp up, well, if he didn't pick the right Thunderstorm target, he pretty much played that perfectly. Not much I could have done. Can't complain about the loss. And having already drawn one Kinleo champ, it was kind of crazy to even think about getting a second. You get a rematch though. I get to go first. See, that's pretty nice. I got the Gorgons, but if he has T-Storm, he can still take it out. If he doesn't have T-Storm, then it's going to be worse for him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a torch. But I'm not going to equip it. I'm going to actually set it so that I have two sets with the Gorgons and the torch. You know, I'll even set the Hephstia. Set. Because I want to lower the chances of him picking the right card. By as much as possible. And because I'm going to play the Torch and the Hephstia next turn when I can actually attack, it's not bad anyways. And if he does destroy the Hephstia, I think that's okay. It's not going to do me that much good this game. And if he destroys the Torch, it just costs me 1, so that's pretty worth it for me. I can still search 2 more with Hephaestus. Two sets. Titana Strike. Okay. See which one he picks here in the T-Storm. Supercell. Okay. He can't heal anything off of it because he hasn't spent any spirits yet. I think I'll Gorgons. I don't necessarily like it, but it keeps Volcaries alive, allows me to save a spirit when I cast the Torch. Oh, seriously? He chained the effect to the cast of Supercell so that... I didn't know you could do that. So he was still able to heal off the expend he did. So now I really have 0 defensive options, which sucks. So there's PTA. Not really surprised about that. Disenchant one from Hephstia to search. Grab another torch. I'm gonna play Hephstia. I probably should have played Hephstia first when we were matching, and then played the Volcaries. Still kind of warming up for the day. And playing 3 here is kind of risky because if he draws Thunderstorm, he can just destroy it and get +2. Basically, he'll get a 3 spirit lead on me. But if he doesn't have Thunderstorm, then I get to keep Hephstia around, and I can still keep my multiple spirit lead. I can generate some card advantage here with Hephstia. I know Necro's going to get destroyed, but I'm able to draw a card here. Maybe? Okay, well, this kind of sucks. I was hoping I would draw fire cards, like the majority of my deck is fire. But if the third card in the foretell here isn't fire, I won't be able to draw it. Okay, it is. I just don't really have any choices to do so. So I'll definitely grab P-Box, because P-Box will stop. He'll stop Funglow and like a Volt. Amp up. He'll pay out the PTA, Necrof dies, and then we'll see what he's got. I don't know what this back row is. He hasn't used it yet. Could be another PTA. Just try both of the PTAs or something. Oof. He had 2 amp ups in hand. It's rough. I don't think it's the end of the world. Better than a T-Storm. P-Box is too slow though. So it'll be a 10 attack. The Ambrose, okay. Very curious what he rips. Because Volcaries would definitely be the best thing for him to rip. Because that's something that can get over his Like a Volt. But technically, Warmite can too. But he might grab the Lavalith thinking that it's just like a one of and it's a very strong card. Even though I'm going to constantly have more spirits than him on field, so it's just never going to get value. Yeah, see, it's kind of a tough choice for him. And then this is my last torch as well, because he destroyed the other 2, so I won't be able to get an attack boost. Okay, so he was smart and he got rid of the Volcaries. I do not blame him. So it's going to kind of come up to what this back row is. So basically I have 2 options here. I can either re-enchant the Warmite and equip it with Torch to get over the Like a Volt. Or I can play Lavalith. And then equip it with Torch and destroy the back row. And then if it's shield, then I don't have to be scared. But if it's not shield, then it still sucks. But we gamble. It's probably Gorgons. Yeah. Yep. That's just rough. Draws 2 amp ups. PTA, Gorgons, Ambro. He gets to destroy me, steal my Torch of Hephstia, and I can't do anything. Oh, I hate this card so much. It's so brutal. I should have kept the Gorgons instead of using it on the Titano Strike. I know what my next draws are going to be. And none of them get me out. So unfortunately that one's a loss. It's like the Thunderstorm side of the deck I can actually beat pretty easily. Brontoglow is not bad. But Lycavolt just ruins me. Beyond repair. I think that was Solar. Probably up against a Solar. Gorgons is nice then. Prevent the Nova Core from coming out. I'm going to expend a draw here because I need some more guys. That's good. And we pass. Plucky start, okay. Prioritizing Apollo. So Volcarius can get blown up by Solar Burst here, which is never fun. I'm gonna guess they'll play Apollo here, and we'll see what the Foretell brings. If it's a whole bunch of guys, I'll probably be wary of playing Volcarius a little bit, but nah, I'll probably just play the Volcarius. I need something to get over Plucky, and Warmite can't do it. Not a lot of people play their guys in defense right now, but Warmite definitely struggles with those. Guardian, Novacore, Liar. Okay. So you can grab the Novacore. I do have the Gorgons, and this shouldn't have any sort of destruction effects. Alter. It's kind of awkward. Guess we'll see if he PTAs here. Play it before I play the Hephstia. Maybe make him think that it's only going to be a 4 attacker. We'll just drop 4 on Hephstia. Like I said, I really don't think there's any rune destruction here. He'll probably just let the Plucky die. Plucky's not really valuable at all. Right, or not. I guess to just heal a couple. Kind of refund the mulligan a little bit. Not sure why exactly keeping the Plucky alive. I mean, Leo Bright isn't in the game yet, so it's not like he's gonna Leo Bright go into Celestleo or something. Gets to replace his back row. Yeah, I'll P-box this. Get some fires in the underworld. For Warmite Hearth stuff. Hey, Sniper, how's it going? Ooh, nice. We milled a temple, too. Good. Yeah, I'm doing awesome. My game development's kind of slowed to a stop. I've been playing this game. Been pretty addicted, and also just life's been busy, so I haven't had a whole lot of energy left at the end of a day to play, or to code. Yeah, brights are good. Oh, I thought this was the other Exaltus. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play bass. It's kind of interesting. You been playing anything? Working on anything? Yeah, grabs another Glimbat. Immediately burns it to grab another temple. So he's got 2 temples. I know some people only run 1, but 2's probably good. Foretell now that we got new stuff here. Probably trying to figure out... Ooh, resting? That's not fun. That'll be coming up next. No guys though, which is nice. Into a larger project, C4 of your Minecraft server just started. Nice. Sounds like lots of fun. Larger project for work or something then? Try and bait out the back row before playing Kinleo. Game development, Metroidvania game. Okay. Getting pretty far into it, or still kind of in the early stages? Kinleo. Gonna grab the Leonite here. Still doing lore and concepts. Okay, well that's like one of the most fun parts, so that's always good. You working with a team or mainly going solo? 10% team? Okay. That seems pretty good. You could probably get something like that out pretty reasonably time-wise then. So we got one more Guardian. Still not really gonna worry about it. I'll just swing over the Exaltus. If he really wants to save his Plucky, prevent him from taking 1 damage, is fine. Still got the Gorgons ready for his Nova Core when it drops, so I'm just not scared at all. Ooh, mid-game Nog. That always seems expensive. But I guess they have the spirits from recovering all that with Guardian. Yeah, so there's resting. We saw that on the Foretell. He's knocking out the big guy. Like I said, I just drew the Leonite though, so I'm not afraid of that. Yep, there's Temple. There's the Nova Core, no surprise there. Destruction effect, which I will Gorgons. It keeps my guys alive. And then I can ascend over Kinleo with Leonite next turn. And I should be able to beat him. Unless there's some good back row here. Okay, Liar. Is that going to be on the Plucky? I already milled one of the Liars earlier, so I thought I might have been safe from it. Yeah, so he's putting it on the Plucky. And Ambrose's last card, alright. This card is what I really don't know. Oh, I didn't think Liar gives Nova Core +2/+2. I'm just gonna pay both off Hephstia. I don't have any torches, and I have to Nexus, so I'm just gonna next one off Hephstia. At least gets it off my board. Yeah, I can't lower the thing's attack because it's not gonna work since it's swapping his attack and defense. Oh, there's the torch. Let's grab the one I put on the Warmite, throw it on the Leonite, because it's gonna have Warmite attack the Plucky. I don't think I'm going to use Torch. I could just to avoid a possible solar burst incoming on the Leonite, but I think it's just kind of unlikely to happen. Because he would need to get, so he would need to draw Solar Burst, or if this face down is Solar Burst, and then have another Nova Core be in his Foretell. Otherwise, it only gets rid of Warmite, which I don't really care about. Because I was afraid of this being a shield, and I was trying to think, can I still win if this is shield? Oh. Really? Double Nova Core. So I should have put the Torch onto the Warmite. Alright, I can pay one off Leonite at least to do this. But that sucks. So they top decked a Nova Core. That's crazy. Oh, and they have it. The face down is an Ambro. So this is going to really be important that of who draws guys at this point. Because if my next draw is a Rune, I'm going to be hurting. I take 1 damage here. I take 2 more to blow it up. We both have clear boards. They got Temple and 7 spirits. I've got 4 spirits and no Temple. Alright, Necrough. Perfect. I can work with Necrough. Could I have put Torch on it? Yeah. But I'm trying to think, like, what is left in this deck to deal with me? And it shouldn't be a whole lot. Because 2 Nova Cores have been used. Unless, okay, he draws 2 back row. Or 2 runes at least. Potentially shield. Okay, second Necrough. That's good. Don't need to re-enchant. So now a Liar will not work. Even if they draw a guy, they need it to be a 6, and the only 6 in solar decks that I know of is Champ Exaltus, and then one of these would have to be a Foretell. Which is kind of crazy. They healed a whole bunch this game because they had 2 Guardians of Light, 2 Ambrosias, so their healing should be just about over too. 1 Ambrosia potentially left. So there's a Plucky. So this is good for them. Because they can grab their last Liar, assuming they're running 3. Which seems like a lot, but I run 3 torches, so it's not unheard of. Okay, no, they're only running 2, and that's why they're sad. Because if they had a Liar, they could have equipped it to their Plucky and been a 6. Attacked over one of the Necroughs. I would have had, and healed one. I would have had the Torch to hit over them still, so I wouldn't be too afraid of that. But it's definitely unfortunate. The mill I got with the P-Box was pretty good. Okay, just for fun. I drew all... Oh, okay, I didn't mean to do that in defense. Oh well. That's funny. I top deck all 3 Necrofs in a row. That's pretty insane. Yeah. GG. Yeah, I think once Solar gets the support for Celestlio, that they'll be in much better shape. 5 normal ascensions, nice. Win 2 games, nice. It's like the first time I've ever finished this. I might even finish the Clash Pass, which would be kind of crazy, because I'm not intentionally trying to. I've been trying to, I just play this game so much. I've got like a whole bunch of games on this deck specifically. See if we find a quick match again. So I just realized I had my screen on big the whole time, because I was talking about these Necrofs. This seems to be the card people are quickest to cut in the deck. It's a 5, and what I've found is that to keep pressure on, you want stuff that hits hard. And like Volcari's Champ is essentially a 6, because it can search for Hephstia, which can in turn search Torch. Volcari's is a big attacker. Warmite's effectively a 6. So if anything, I guess Necrof is kind of like the lowest attacker besides Kinleo. But being able to burn and punish and not have its damage or its attack be attributed to anything in specific is very nice. Though being a 1 defense hurts, because pretty much everything in this deck, yeah, literally all my 1 costs died of Cryoblast. It's different if I got Forge, but yeah, it's rough. Rumicole, as soon as I learned that what it specifically says when you normal cast this Rumicole, you can search for a Stadium Rune, it was when I dropped it. Because if I draw Leonite and Rumicole, I want to special cast the Rumicole, search for the Stadium, play the Stadium, and then have Leonite protected immediately upon going on the field. But it doesn't work out like that. Instead, the card just kind of is very situational. It's kind of fun because Hephstia's Hearth can essentially give it a +2 because it gets an extra attack under Volcanic Forge for each fire enchanting it. So under Forge is a 4/3, and then with 1 Hephstia's Hearth, it'll become a 6/4. But you're only enchanting 1 to the field, so you're not getting a huge benefit. But it's still something worth mentioning. Maybe worth experimenting with again, considering how important Volcanic Forge is. But also, it feels bad to draw mid-game. If you draw it early game, it's pretty nice. Especially against people like Hermes players. Or Lock players, just because neither of them actually run stadiums. Rumicole, Festus Champ is just a very specific strategy. Same with Cinder. Smokey's only good if you're doing like super hyper ascension stuff. It really is, because it's just bad Nog unless you have Hephstia and Smokey and you are looking for 2-drops that you don't have in hand and you have enough of them in your deck. If you're running like 6 or 7 2-drops, like 3 Leonites, 3 Blazerus, and a Lavalith or something, then maybe running Smokey's okay. But then you're just really hoping your opponent doesn't have back row, and that's not a gamble that I like taking. Base Torchin, I didn't know how hard this card was memed on, but apparently it's pretty bad because people were talking about how crazy it was that it actually did something in the last tournament. It healed like 5. I had somewhat considered this card just because of how many Fire Spirits I have on field. And it's not uncommon for me to kill everything on board and deal damage as a 1/1. And it only needs to declare an attack, so even if it dies, it can still heal like 4 or 5 in the right situations. So I think it's a little under experimented with, but definitely not like a top tier card by any means. Torch and Champ was, like I said, kind of like considering dropping it more than anything else. But I feel like, you know, I've won multiple games where I have Volcanic Forge out and I got 2 Hestia's Hearth set, and Torsion is the only guy I have. They attack into me. I jump up from a 2/2 up to a 6/6 and hit them for 4, and they don't have any back row, and then I hit them again and end the game. So, because it's happened more than once, it's kind of tempting to just keep it in there. But that's not any thanks to Torchin's ability to search Hephstia or Torch of Hephstia. That's just Torchin things. Or that's just a Champion of Hephstia things under Volcanic Forge. If Rimacole had this same effect but was a Champion of Hephstia, I would run it without question. Just because it would all of a sudden be able to jump up to an 8/5 with a Hestia's Hearth, but it's just not the case. Earth Scout, you know, I've thought about doing some fun stuff with Earth Scouts, because this one, when it's destroyed in battle, you can special cast a 1-spirit Barrel Elestral, and then Champ 1, when you special cast it, you can search for a Champion of Hephstia. So you can play Earth Scout. When it dies, special cast Earth Scout Champ, and then search for Champ Leonite, and then go into Champ Leonite, which is interesting. You could also go into Champ Floracne, which I don't think is, like, I've looked into Floracne. I think it's really interesting and super punishing to those swarm decks. But the biggest problem with it is that Arachne's lair needs to be enchanted, and you need to disenchant one from your Hephstia in order to search it. So it ends up being like a 3-card combo, which is just too much to ask for. If it didn't have the disenchant from Hephstia, I would probably experiment with it. But this card is going to be one to watch out for the next time Hephstia gets a good 2 cost. So if we see something like that in Sunstrike, I think this card will be really valuable, which I think is kind of funny, because I've been watching the marketplace, and the Earth Scout serialized is like the lowest value serialized card. People are selling it for like $99 when most of them go for like $150, $200. Alright, let's go back to that screen. Wow, that is interesting. No back row. But I've got lots of guys. I'll try it. I will try it. Shadow Storm. I don't know if I faced this player before. The name does not ring a bell. And since they're in like the highest rank, I think I would have remembered them normally. Ooh, he's on fire? Another fire player, that's kind of interesting. But he's on Nog, so... And then expend a draw. Yeah, so we'll have lots of back row. You have a full 4 back row. Interesting. I wonder if one of those is the Hephstia he's setting. Because otherwise, maybe it's fire with no Hephstia? Hard to say. I'm just going to drop a Necruf. I think. I could play Hephstia and drop 2 Necrufs. Would that be worth it? I think so. I think so. Because I'll apply 2 guys of pressure, and then if something sticks around, I can get even bigger boost with Kineo Champ into Leonite. And PTA should stop just about anything he wants to send out. I'm trying to think of what other options Fire has that would require the use of a Nog. Like, I think Ignectors are in here, so it could be like an Ignector deck. Let's see if we see a PTA or something here. Nope. Yeah, there's little reason not to run this one as a water. He's got 4 back row. Could easily be a tsunami. I know, and he doesn't have anything on field for me to need to use. I guess I probably should have it as a fire, because my turn 2 plan with Leonite requires an Elestral to be fire enchanted. So, probably a misplay, but we'll live and learn. Still not the worst thing, I don't think, though. I was surprised he didn't use any back row on these. It must be like a really big combo deck, and he just doesn't want to spend cards, or he's saving them until there's something that actually big comes out. Maybe it's some Hephastia's Hearths. Could be like 2 Hephastia's Hearths. Okay, or it's just a Galaxy champ. Whatever. Take your pick, bud. Yeah, take out the water one for me. That sounds good. Torch, alright. I'm just gonna immediately disenchant 2 and go Kinleo champ. Try and burn through some of his back row because it's just really threatening. Gorgon's me, do it. Okay, there's that. What else you got? Because he'll probably stop this one, because he gets to save his guy and also prevent himself from taking a damage. So he's got a shield. Need an Earth Spirit in there too. What is this? Is this just a random 5s deck? If he ascends Galaxy, I just PTA whatever he ascends into, and if he doesn't ascend, I just beat over him with Necrof next turn. Oh, he's got his own Necrof. Okay. Honestly, that's cause for PTA. I think this is just a really just a small guy's deck. This will allow me to kill his Necrof, and I won't take the extra damage. He won't even be able to kill me here, actually. Yeah. So that was a really good use of PTA. You know, normally that would be great, but it doesn't really work here. Ooh, there you go. Okay, so he's gonna play Hephastia's Hearth. He's investing a lot into this Necrof. Swap his Galaxy to defense, even though my Necrof's gonna go over him now. So I'll take one. I'll just take my other water, because whatever. Okay, so there's Leonite. Go Necrof and attack. See what he does here. Maybe his own PTA at this point. I could torch just to get over the thing. Yeah. Interesting. So he paid off the forge. So now I don't get the boost, so even if I use torch, it's not going to help me here. Good play, good play. Boop. Attack him for fun. Hey CG, how's it going? Yeah, any plans for the day? You taking it easy, streaming? Yeah, I don't know what this last card is. He ascends into... Ugh. Misenchanted Leonite. Alright. And that's probably a Hepstia's Hearth. Yeah, he just drew more back row than me. He had Shield, PTA, Hearth, Gorgons. I think I'm just gonna enchant it with 2. But do I need to even? Because I play Warmite here. And then I lower his attack. Then I equip myself with Torch. If he has something to stop me here, he just wins the game. But that's just too much back row for me to fight through. Yeah, this doesn't work. That's what I was hoping that was. So this is actually a really funny situation. So Leonite's effect affects all fires on the field. So this will give me a +6 as well. That's... Alright, it's the only one I can draw. And then I can also heal off of it, because it's just when a player. So, yeah. Gotta learn somehow. Wording's very particular on these cards. Because Wormite says when a player casts Hepstia's Hearth. So you can heal off your opponent's Hepstia's Hearths. And then Leonites says, I got the one in hand. So Leonite receives one more. You can give each fire enchanted Elestral on the field. When it says on the field instead of your field, it means both players. So the mirror match for the fire decks get very interesting because of this. The earth must have been for an earthquake, and the water's purely for galaxy. Yeah, I mean, I more or less pioneered this deck, so I kind of know how it works. GG. Still staying positive on the win rates, which is nice. Oh, I guess I wasn't even keeping track of the win rate at all. Let's see. I think I'm 2 and 2. So I lost twice in a row against the Thunder, then won against the Solar, and now I won against the Fire. I was thinking the overall win rate on the deck. I'm trying to stay in the green. The amount increased since last change. So I'm at 65% since the last change, 64% overall. It's a pretty good win rate for the deck. I'm really happy with it. In tournaments, though, it's got a, like, that's usually good enough because it's a best of 3. So if you win 2 out of 3 games, you win the set. Every once in a while, I'll get high rolled and lose a set. That's always, I mean, that's why I end up 5 and 2 the last couple tournaments. Trying to end up at either the top of 5 and 2 or get 6 and 1. That's what I really want to do. I want to fight in the top 8, see if I can win bracket play by any chance. That's the only way I'm making the world tournament, is if I'm able to move up But we'll see. It's not like the biggest aim for me. It'd be kind of just like a nice boost. Alrighty. Back to analyzing this stuff. Yeah, so I think Earth Scout's gonna pop up as actually useful down the road. Just right now it's not so great. Earthseer. Yeah, I feel like Earthseer normal is only good in Bears focused decks, and it's only good with Don't Poke. I mean, there's some stuff it feels like you could do with Bear, like make a Hephstia Bear deck. I've been trying to figure out what the math would look like, but a full combo that costs like 4 or 5 spirits only really deals like 3 or 4 damage. So it feels really bad, and I can't ever justify it. I thought about just having... I tried Earthseer in the deck in the early stages in place of Volcaries, because Earthseer automatically burns for 1 because it sees itself, and then just like the Torchin thing, it works with Hestia's Hearth to get 2, and then under Forge it becomes a 6/3 with the Hestia's Hearth boost, so it can become a real hard hitter. But it's a 4/1 naturally, so without any boosts it's just not quite good enough. And just burning your opponent for 1 isn't going to win you a lot of games. The games move too quickly for that. If there were some slower paced ones, it could do good, but if the meta keeps staying at the speed, it's just not going to be good enough. Ursmog. It requires you to cast from hand, which is pretty lame. So I would never run that. Volcarius, I'm running both. And then the Warmite, because it's a 3/1, same stats as the Champ Warmite, but Champ Warmite is on receive, lowers by 3, and Warmite is just every turn it can lower by 4 with no requirement. So effectively it is a 7 attacker and can beat over 6s, but 6s aren't like the most common thing. It's like things are either 5 or they're 7. And it's only on your turn, so if somebody just got like an Aphoros champ and a Magnaros both at 5 attack on their turn, they're just going to beat over you. Nothing you can do about it. So it feels kind of bad. So that's why I've kind of made my decisions on what to run in this deck. So basically, if I was to change anything out, I would probably run Rumicool. And then there's also the argument for like what Brulok was doing. He was running the Smoltugas and the Astrabbits. And I think the other guy who was running this, he was also on Smoltugas. Only 2 of them. But he was also on Tsunamis and the Nogs. But he was also on the Rumicools. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. You can play very high rolly with the deck, or you can play very slow and consistent. And both, I mean, apparently both can perform similarly, because Brulok and I got 5 and 2, and the other guy got 4 and 3. So I don't know necessarily what the optimal play is. This is what I find to be best, with only potential flex being probably the Torchins. But even then, I think the question that I really find myself asking in this situation is, let's say my Torchins are a Rumicool. How many times is the issue that I'm having that Torchin, or that I'm facing down like a 3 or a 4 attacker that Torchin can't get over? Because like I said, it's mainly going to be either 5 or 7. Torchin isn't going to get over that, but neither is Rumicool. I mean, Rumicool can get over it with a Hestia's Hearth, but also it can be Gorgons and then ruined because its extra attack is attached to its effect. But I mean, I shouldn't be afraid of that. It does add another Dense Fog target though, and it's not like Dense Fog is completely gone, and it still gets its original Search of the Forge. The other thing that was kind of tough is running Rumicole with 2 stadiums makes me want to run Stoke the Forge, so that if I draw Volcanic Forge and Rumicole, that Rumicole isn't completely dead. But I tried that for a while, and Stoke the Forge just isn't that great of a card. Some people don't even know what it does. Basically, if Volcanic Forge is enchanted, you can search your deck for 1 Spirit, Fire, Elestral, and add it to hand. So it sounds pretty good on paper. You can search any of these guys. It's basically your small Tuga. But it's just an extra card in the deck that is completely dead if you don't have Volcanic Forge. Completely dead. So if you have, like, let's just say you have one of these, and you have 2 Rumicoles and 2 Volcanic Forges. I'm not sure what the chances are to draw this, like, and then let's say you do draw the Forge in your starting hand. Then you have 4 cards that you're drawing out of 39, and you need one of them to be Volcanic Forge or Rumicole, or else it's just not going to be good. Do this. Alright. Sure, we'll keep. I go first. That's kind of weird. What am I up against? Water? I think it's Frost. I haven't faced any waters today, which is kind of interesting. Frost makes me kind of wish I rolled for a P-Box, but that's fine. Seems like it might be a new player that are just... I never know if it's actually new players or if it's somebody who's just creating a Clash account to practice. Nope. Do unexpended draw. Another Gorgons. Man, why am I getting multiple Gorgons against, like, the one deck that Gorgons sucks against? I do want some Fires in the Underworld for my Warmite and Hephstia's Hearth combo, though, so I think it's totally fine to expend a draw and take a damage or 2 here. If they play Chimera, I will just Gorgons it, since I've got 2 anyways. And then I'll put 2 more Fire Spirits in the Underworld. There's Keone. Not sure why they're playing that yet. They don't have anything in the Underworld. Two, 3, alright. Fully loading it, which also is typically not the best plan. Usually just loading it up with 2 or 3 is good. So you can only use it once per turn. It only grabs something that's in the Underworld. Alright, so there's a Chimera. So you have to preemptively Gorgons the thing to prevent it from discarding. Because if he has like a bat in hand, I guess having a bat wouldn't really do anything. But it prevents him from drawing or attacking, which I think is valuable enough. He's only got 1 back row, so I can easily play Warmite here, set the Hephstia's Hearth and another Gorgons, and see how it goes. Ooh, Necruff. Ooh, Necruff. Do I trade with the Morfrost? It's pretty tempting. Bait out the back row with the Necruff. Alright, I'm going to play Necruff, and I'm going to play it with a water. Because I face more Frost decks, and they are some of the ones that primarily run Tsunami in this meta. Like, during the premiere, I faced a guy, and in the first game, he played 2 Tsunamis. And if I had just played a water Necruff to crash with his Chimera, I would have won. I won the set, I just lost the first round. So, but instead I got greedy and tried to take the extra 1 damage on him with the Necruff expend. But, so, I mean, this may not have been a Tsunami, and I just crashed and lost the damage for no reason. I guess that's why they loaded the Keones, because you can permanently grab Chimera. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Super annoying. I didn't think about it. I'm just gonna let it go this time. This is a time where I wish I did have Volcanic Forge. Because more Frosts struggle against 6 attackers. Yeah, there's Bat, but he doesn't have anything in the Underworld to summon with it. Because Bat cannot summon itself. Ooh, Blizzard on a back row. I think that's my PTA. That's fine. Yeah. The important one for me is my Hephastia's Hearth. You can't chain to Blizzard either. So even if he uses it, I won't be able to do anything, which kind of suck. Well, since he used a Bat already, I'm not really afraid to just kind of kill the more Frost, and if he has to re-grab it with Keon, whatever. Oh, well, there's Forge. Alright, sweet. He's got Blizzard, so I'm not fully confident in doing this. Because if he has Blizzard, it's more than likely that he has Brummelinks. So it's probably not a pure Morphrost variant. And if he has Brummelinks, he can search for mountains. But I do have the Gorgons, which I can use to stop him. Alright. So optimally, he regrabs Chimera, plays it, attacks Warmite, I cast Hephastia's Hearth, kill the Chimera, deal 2 damage to him, heal 2 damage with Warmite, then next turn ascend into Leonite, and basically just end the game. Divine Healing. You know, that's not gonna do anything if you don't have any back row to spend those spirits. Ambro would be better, because you can add them to your spirit deck. Because you don't need to activate Keon 6 times in a game. Well, there's a back row. Come on, do it. Regrab the Chimera. Do it. Oh. Force me to use it now. So what this does is it brings my Warmite above 2 defense so it doesn't immediately die. And I still get the healing from Warmite's effect. So it's not too bad. Didn't want to have to do that though. And if he uses another Cryoblast, which is unlikely but possible, he can still destroy me. Catarants. What kind of deck is this? It's not uncommon for people to run a Catarant. I'm just a little confused at what the end goal is. Because he's not generating an advantage. He's not like Chimera with a whole bunch of Morphrost in his deck that he's discarding. He's only shown 1 Chimera and 1 Bat form. Maybe it was just a rough starting hand and shouldn't mulligan it. Actually, they did mulligan once. They should have mulliganed a second time? I don't know. Now I guess we get to find out what the back row is. And I also want my top deck to be a guy, which is unlikely. If I would have kept the Necrof around, I'd be fine, but I did not. Oh, it's your turn, buddy. Waiting on you. Alright. Hephstia is not exactly what I was looking for. I'm just going to expend a draw. No point in re-enchanting right now. I'm just going to gamble a little bit. Meaning that I'm going to really hope that this is not a shield. So I'm going to equip Torch to my Warmite. Just so I can get an extra draw with Hephstia, because what I need right now is guys. Alright, Volcaries is awesome. Necrof is better though. We'll get both next turn. Still got the Gorgons. I kind of feel bad drawing 2 Gorgons because they're just such a powerful card, and having 2 of them is tough to get through. But if I have to use it, I have to use it. Oh, interesting. I didn't know Infrostrix Champ was in the game. That's really fascinating. So no wonder he loaded his Keon. He's actually used a lot of the spirits on the thing. Because he's already used 4. Regrabs the Catarants, which you can special cast again with Infrostrix. Fascinating. It's like a really bad infinite heal engine. I guess it's not infinite, but alright, since he cast 2 things though, I can disenchant 2 from Hephstia in order to special cast myself. So we'll go a Necrof and a Volcaries. Get to find out what his back row is sooner or later. PTA, okay. That's honestly totally fine. Like, I've even got multiple options. I could just ascend into Leonite here, but I'm not going to. Because I think I'll deal more damage like this. Because ascending into Leonite makes it so that I kill Warmite, or I kill Infrostrix and Catarants, but I deal no splash here. But with this, I can go Necrof over Catarants, burn for 1. I should have paid the PTA off Keon too. Then Volcaries over Infrostrix. And then Warmite in for 3. Oh yeah, and then I forgot I got the Foretell too. PTA, another Forge, another Hephstia. Does not matter. We'll grab the Forge just in case they play I don't know. Mountains. Which, I mean, Volcaries isn't harmed by that. It'd basically just be Warmite if you wanted to do that. So it's interesting because he has essentially 7 spirits left, but 3 of them are on the Keon, which isn't going to do a whole lot for him. I'm surprised he didn't grab the Infrostrix, or the Chimera back from the Infrostrix. Instead went for the heal. Because unless he had like a big grand plan with lots of back row, I just didn't see how that was going to pay out. Because even, like, let's say I didn't have the Leonite or the Volcaries, which I did, and he could have reasonably assumed based off the Foretell. So then I would have just had Warmite and Necruff. And then he PTAs the Necruff. So then I take the trade where I go Necruff over Catarant, and I go Warmite over Frostix. He still has a clear board, but has more spirits to work with. It seemed to me like you wanted something to stick on the board, which was kind of the hard thing. I'm also really not sure what the Chimera Bat Morfrost combo was. I know most people who run like a Morfrost package, they go, I think it's Scorpio, Bat, Lycan. It's 5 cards. You can throw into Frost, and then you can have something to just... It's just some form of removal. Yeah, I don't know. If... I don't think Abominursa Champ is in here, is it? No, it's not. Just normal Abominursa. That's a card I want to experiment with. Abominursa Champ. So sometime when it gets added here, I might give it a few tries. I don't really care about my rank. I'm gradually moving up, but it's like a net positive system, so I'm not surprised that I'm moving up. Probably only play a few more games, not too many. If we can find the matches. What I should really do is I should make like a tier list of all the fire cards, because I've looked at all of them. It's basically what I was doing earlier, but make an actual tier list. It's easier to consume. And since Fire was already part of Firestorm, it's already had its like big Divine Edition set. So it's not like we'll be getting a huge surge of fire cards going forward. Each set will probably add, I don't know, how many fire cards were added in Lifestream? I don't think it was too many. Lifestream Elestrals. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 10 if you count Krakatuga. And 11 with Up in Flames. Yeah. Just chilling for a little bit. You got your stuff set up? Alright, sounds good. You have a good weekend as well. Yeah, it's interesting because most of these cards don't even really support a fire play style. Like Humbust and Humburst, those are solar cards. Like you can say they're fire, but they're not. You're not going to run them in a fire deck. Artemis, the Funglide, and Brontiglow, you're not going to run those in a fire core deck either. They're just pieces of Artemis. Helmelt, Smeltung, they're their own strats, so I'll give them that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 core fire cards, 6 with Up in Flames. And then Ursir's just... I don't know. This card's kind of bad, if I'm being honest. I want to like it. I think there's potential for it if it had better stats. If this thing was a 4/3, it'd be a little better. It doesn't die to Cryoblast at least. If it was a 5, like if this thing was a 5/2, that would be awesome. I would love this thing if it was a 5/2. Probably hard to ask for because then you're basically just printing a better Necruff that automatically expends. So they probably couldn't do that, but you could have made it a 4/3 at least, so it doesn't die to Cryoblast. Fire has so few things that don't die to Cryoblast you actually want to run. Like, why would you give Ursir a stat line the same as Kinleo, which Kinleo is incredible if it gets special casted and dead if it doesn't. And Ursir is just mediocre bad all around. But yeah, so I mean, if we're looking at like 9, 10 cards per set for fire, it's not that bad compared to like Earth got 16, Water got like 15. So So they do keep it relatively similar among stuff. I'm really excited to see the Sunstrike cards. I know that they had like content creators do announcements, and I think it would be so fun if I got to do a fire announcement. Unlikely, but it would be fun. I gotta establish myself more as like a fire professional, I guess. I gotta win with a fire deck. That would do it. I threw up some ideas for like what custom cards I would create. Just for fun. You know, I made the Necroth line and the Lavalith line as theoretical. So for Necroth, Champion Hephstia, I said kept it when it destroys. Okay, we'll try and talk about it afterwards. Okay. I go first. Double Torch and Hephaestus Pinbox. Leonite in hand. This is super weird. I'm just gonna keep it so I don't have to mulligan. We're up against the same Frost guy. Just throw it in defense. I got the P-Box against Lycan now, so that's cool. I'm just gonna play Hephaestus now. I know he's got Blizzard, so I want multiple back row defense rather than just the P-Box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the Hephaestus thing, gonna grab a torch. Gonna set the torch, and I'll set the P-Box. That way there's two options for him to potentially destroy with a Blizzard instead of just the one. And then next turn, I can play Hephstia, disenchant 2 to special cast Torchin, grab another torch for fun, and then I can send into Leonite. Alright, so he picked the right one, which sucks. So many people in the card game, like when you're playing physically, will choose the one that's closest to your spirit deck. And especially if it's the one you played first. Okay, so he destroyed both, so it did not matter. And honestly, go for it, dude. It cost me 1 spirit to grab that torch, and you spent 2 to get rid of it. Be my guest. This is still the same Frost deck. Why is there a Toxic Swarm? Whoa, that is not what I was expecting at all. So is he on the Frost primarily for the Rune Destruction? Is he, like, at that point just be on Thunder too for Thunderstorm? Let's grab Necroth here and try and trade. I will grab another torch though. I'm gonna play Hephstia just so I can get some card advantage. Well, since he destroyed the 1 torch, and I already grabbed another, I've only got 1 left. So I gotta be a little bit cautious, because if this gets shielded, then Necroth's just gonna kind of be, or then I'm only gonna have 1 torch left. And, like, right now, the torch is really my best protection for Leonite getting up to 9 attack. He's probably got something to stop it. Maybe it's just a Gorgons. Like, does he want to use Gorgons on a Necrof to stop a 7 that's going to just pop up next turn? Maybe, maybe not. If it's a shield, I don't know why you wouldn't use it. He gets 2 spirit value for it. Gets to save his guy. Yeah, there's the shield. I guess the disadvantage to that is that now... Ooh, Hepstia's Hearth is really nice. Ooh, and a P-Box. Is now he doesn't have anything to do with my Leonite next turn. So yeah, that was a tough trade-off. It's ascending into... Oh, Misenchanted Aspral. So it's a Blizztrix deck. Doesn't have any defense for this, though. Alright, we gonna special cast. The Torchin and attack. I guess it doesn't matter what position it's in. We will search. We'll grab the last torch. For fun, I'll actually Nexus the last one off of Hephstia onto it. Because Hephstia isn't doing anything here. And I can now play torch and both my back row. Which is nice. And I'll deal an extra damage to him too. Trying to think of what he could have to deal with me. Don't think it would be a whole lot. Almost gave him the torch. Ooh, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. I've done that before. I kind of just forfeit on the spot because it's just a big mistake on my part. Don't need a Hephstia. Valkyries. Forge. Yes, Forge, please. One, two, three, four, five, 6 cards on field, or spirits on field. So it's basically 10 versus 11 right now. I've got 2 back, or he's got nothing. Both have 2 cards in hand. Oh yeah, I gotta be careful that he doesn't burn me to death. So I might not be able to play the Forge, honestly. Just because I can't afford the burn. He's played 2 Toxic Swarms, but never know if he's going to drop like an Exalt or Aeolus or something. Okay, I could special cast with Hephstia, but no. Alright, I am actually just gonna play Hepstia's Hearth. I don't think I need the defensive capabilities of it, and I think I'd rather have the offensive ones. Okay, he gave up. Yeah, because I kill him with Necrof, burn him for 1, and then have Leonite hit in for 5, so he goes down to 4 spirits. And then if he doesn't take out my both my Necrof and my Leonite that turn, it's just game over. So I don't know what he had in hand. Maybe it was like a Divine Healing or something like that that wouldn't actually be useful without the Keone. Maybe it was another Blizzard. He just didn't need it. A Blizzard I'm so torn on, because sure you get to remove back row, but it's very expensive to do so. But it can't be chained either, so it's a good way to really stop Gorgons. What if your opponent has it? I don't know. I've definitely lost to people playing Blizzard before. And I think there was somebody playing Shiveror. I haven't watched to know which Shiveror. Because, yeah, one of the Shiverors... It's immune to rune effects while... There's two Shiverors. One of them is immune to rune effects while Mountains is enchanted, and the other one is when Blizzard is cast, you can target and destroy an Elestral. So, one of these is considered really bad, and the other one's considered good, and honestly, I don't remember which is which. I think both sound pretty solid. Like, imagine somebody just tries to target your Shiveror with an ability. You cast Blizzard Whiteout to stop the ability, make sure it can't be attacked, and then you blow up one of their Elestrals. That sounds devastating. At the same time, this one is just like free enchants from your underworld to your field, and then while Mountain is enchanted, you can't be targeted by rune effects. I guess it's just rune effects, so it's basically just like Earthquake and Gorgons and stuff, but that still seems pretty useful. I get to go first with this hand, sure. Volcaries is here, but so I already have Hephstia, which kind of sucks. But I can still play Torchin. Grab the Hephstia. Definitely don't need another torch. I don't know why I put in attack. I should have put it in defense. I was not thinking. Oh, it's just a rematch against the Frost guy again. So I'm not afraid of that. I will keep bluffing my torches. Because if he wants to spend 2, be my guest. This person seems to know how to play the game, but I do kind of feel bad taking it off against like the lowest ranked player. Because like, I don't want to make them quit the game or something. Or make them think that like fire has an advantage against ice. The type advantage exists. Alright, there's the Blizzard. Alright, take the torch. Just do it. Do it. Rip torch. I would be sad if this was actual back row though. But at the same time, there's nothing in this deck that I really feel threatened about. Like, he had the Astral. So are there 3 Snowlets in here and they just aren't getting them? There are Snowlets. Okay, so I am scared of Snowlet. Ooh, Mill to Blizz without the Astral. Whew. A Keone and a Mountain. So they do have mountains in here too. I've already got Keone though. I think Keone can only return 1 Spirit Elestrals. Yeah, so I can't like grab the Blizztrix. So there's nothing in the underworld for it to even grab. I don't think... Maybe Circle the Sky is in here? That would be really funny if Keone goes Circle the Sky on the Snowlet so it gets another receive effect. Alright. I was gonna say it'd be a really funny time to get... Lavalith. Just cast Lavalith, blow up the Keone, attack over Snowlet, deal 1 damage. That would probably be like an insta forfeit. Alrighty. Yo, Mama Red Panda, thanks for the raid. How's it going? What were you up to? You playing some Elestrals? I don't have Hephstia in hand. Alright, well, I'm just doing some competitive Elestrals, which is a... Yeah, it's not really competitive, it's just... I'm playing Elestrals Clash, which is the online client for the card game developed by A-Drive. We used to be a PokeTuber. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of good strategy in this game with a lot of resource management. I love the designs, they're all super cute. Reminds me a lot of Pokemon's designs. And I'm just getting some practice in for tournaments next week. I haven't played a lot of card games before this, so it's not like I really have anything to compare it to, but people say that it's pretty similar to, like, old-fashioned Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know how accurate that is, though. One of the more fun mechanics is that your primary resource for taking actions is also your health bar. So the more actions you take, the more damage you're taking. And the more damage you take, the fewer actions you can take. Which I just think is so creative. And it sounds awful. Ugh, Cryoblast. That'll hurt. Surprised they took out the Volcarius though. Kinda sucks that I don't have... He took out the torch, so I don't have a way to generate more resources. Probably have to grab one with Hephstia. Only got one left though, and it's gonna cost me basically 2 spirits, which is not cool. Oh, re-grab the Snowlet with Frostics. Fascinating. Okay. Might come down to what that back row is, because if that's something like a shield that can stop my Necrof, then my next play would be different. It's not getting what he needed. I find it so interesting that there's a Snowlet in this deck. Okay, they just forfeited. That's a little unfortunate. Let me see if we can find one more match quick. Matches have been kind of here and there lately. Client's still in early access and has had a couple buggy patches. They're still working through it and trying to revamp the tutorial and make it a lot more new player friendly. Although we do have ads coming in like 2 minutes. So if we don't find a match before then, I might just pass along the raid to someone else. Sure might be out of luck. I mean, it's been a good day though. 5-2, just like my tournament records lately. Losing twice to the same Thunderstorm deck. Yeah, Lycavolt's just tough. It's just such a big body to get over, and I don't have enough back row, and the back row I do have gets T-stormed. It's a very all or nothing deck. I think if I got to choose one card out of Firestorm to delete, it would be Champ. It would be Champ Amp Up. That would be it. 100%. Like, more than Chimera, more than Lockagon. Like, those things I think are problematic, but I think they're interesting. And it's like with Lockagon, I think I'd rather them nerf Frostfall Lockagon, like hit it down to 1. And with more Frost, maybe Chimera down to 2 or 1. I don't even really have that much of a problem with more Frost. I know that's a hot take though. It's just the stupid Lycavolt being able to just immediately win games. I guess Blizzard Whiteout's another stupid one, but I think that's interesting. And if I was able to delete a card from Firestorm, it would be Brumelink's Champ, so obviously that's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna find another match. So I'm just gonna pass along the raid. Once again, appreciate it, Red Panda. Hope you had a good stream, and for anyone else watching on YouTube, I appreciate you watching. I'll try and stream about once a week now, or post some videos here and there as I get a chance. So, have a good one.